Hi, welcome. Oh my gosh, I should have removed that earlier. Just as I should be removing this mask. Oh my gosh, this mask is so hard to breathe in. I don't know how many of you guys got the one. I mean, I'm thankful for the free mask, but this particular mask is so close to the mouth, it's so hard to breathe. Okay. Anyway, what are we doing here today, guys, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. So today, we're going to actually be talking about this particular topic, right? So we are going to be talking about how we can prevent the COVID-19, the coronavirus. So why are we talking about this? Well, I really believe that one of the keys to better coronavirus is, which makes a lot of sense, is to be as healthy as possible. But while doctors are looking for a vaccine, it just makes sense for us to have a healthy lifestyle, because the people who are at risk most these days are those who have compromised immune system. So what can we do to boost our immune system? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And so that's what we're talking about today. And more than that, we're also going to be asking a few questions. So if any of you are kind of interested, please feel free to join the show. And if you're watching it on mobile, please tap on the video itself. Just tap on the video, and then if you see a comment that says if you're reading this comment in the right place, you're at the right place. Just feel free to join us. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, and we will get the show started real soon.
Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty over from the minute that I met you.
And for my guest today, my guest today is, her name is Chong Soo Lee. So Soo Lee helps people to look good and feel great always. So without further ado, allow me to present to you my guest and my friend Soo Lee. Hey, say hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Hi Asha. Thanks for having me in your show.
Thanks for coming on. So this is actually like for those of you, most of you probably will know. I know Soo Lee for quite some time already, and but in terms of why the reason I wanted to when I had this show when it first came out, she said that okay, she sent me this. I asked Soo Lee, what do you want to talk about? And then she sent me this text, so she's going to be talking about how to be healthy and how to prevent coronavirus. I'm like, wow, this topic is good, but sure not. So I know some people is like, why if you're not qualified to talk about this kind of thing? But then again, we're talking about preventing, and I always believe in prevention is better than cure. And to a testament, this is true. Okay, Soo Lee can outwalk anybody. Okay, that I met. Okay,
not anybody.
Yeah, okay, not everybody, but the only thing, if let's say if you can match up to her pace, is only if she's wearing heels. Okay, that's the only time. Every
exactly.
other time, yeah. If she's wearing like her regular sports shoes, I cannot catch up. She's just like so fun. So Soo Lee is very amazing. She's walking. If how old are you right now, Soo Lee?
55.
55. And then she's first of all, she doesn't look 55. Okay. Secondly, yeah, really. And then secondly, she's very healthy. She's in the pink of health. She's I think for most people who are at 55 have so many problems, but she's very healthy. She's jovial. She's just very, very healthy. So so this is Soo Lee, and we're gonna have a chat with Soo Lee. So Soo Lee, maybe we can just maybe share a little bit with everybody. Just a little question I had earlier, right? You are why do you think you want to talk about this? What's your experience?
Okay. Actually, it's a very personal experience. Back in 2016, I had dengue hemorrhagic. And it was so bad that my blood platelet dropped to a single-digit 7, which is near death, right?
What's the regular number?
300.
300, you dropped to 7.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't realize the virus. It is a virus, so that's why I'm qualified to talk about COVID, because dengue is a virus. I was bitten by the mosquito that carried the virus, and I didn't know it. It was incubating in my body for 5 days, and then I started hemorrhaging. I got spots all over. Then that's where I was alerted to go to the hospital. And when they did the blood test, it was 7. I was wheeled into the ICU immediately with 1 packet of blood platelet transfusion. Stayed there for 2 days. Came out to the normal ward. Stayed for another 4 days. My platelet went up to 80. It's still not normal yet, but I was discharged. Given 3 days MC, I was back to work. 2 weeks later, I started flying because I had a regional job looking after Asia Pacific. And all my colleagues cannot believe that 2 weeks ago I was in ICU. And 2 weeks later, I was in Hong Kong, Japan, Korea. So when I really think about it, it was actually a lifestyle that I have already adopted 8 years before I was contracted with dengue.
Okay.
Okay, so unknowingly, I was exercising, I was eating a pretty healthy diet, not over the top, but I was careful about what I eat, even when I travel. And even when I was traveling, I was exercising, and I started to implement some, supplements like multivitamins and omega. Nothing over the top, but because of this three happening together over a period of time is where it built my immune system that allowed me to recover within 2 weeks. I don't think anybody has ever achieved that kind of standard yet.
Okay, and I surely hope that nobody has to go through what you had to experience. Honestly, 7 is a near death already, right? So
it really was near death. I mean, like the hematologist, which is the specialist for blood, was like pulling my husband by the side and say, I don't know what he was telling him, but it was not a pretty picture.
Okay, and I think in terms of like, I mean, the coronavirus is definitely something very new, and you're not a virologist, right? But you do have a lot of background in chemistry. So, what's your take on that, actually?
Well, as with all virus, they mutate very fast, and they need a body to replicate. They cannot survive outside of the body. Yeah. So when you look at the history of all viruses, there is no cure. Even like flu, they don't give you cure. There is no cure. They only give you medicine for the symptoms. Like if you have a fever, you take fever medicine, and if you have a cough, you take cough medicine. So I don't expect that to be any cure for coronavirus as well. Yeah, that no cure. But the people who recover are because there are drugs that act against the virus, or they are helping the body to boost the immune system and to fight the virus. That's why they overcome it, and also their own body immune system overcome that. But the people who die of coronavirus are because the body just couldn't handle it.
Okay. So earlier, I think we were showing, and this is what I described, that you are someone, you help people to feel good, and they have to feel good. Yeah, well, you definitely have them feel good, right? So they look good, they feel great always. So, but in terms of that, right? So, appearances can be quite deceiving, right? Sometimes, you look okay. There are some people who are morbidly obese, right? Then is that one? I think we can kind of know, okay, this person kind of needs help. It just depends on whether he or she wants to do something about it. And then there are people like maybe someone like me, okay, maybe I may look all right, but actually I might be what they call skinny fat, right? Those who are not obviously fat, but internally it's a whole mess that's going on. Something's going wrong internally. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's very, very true. So, if you could just show the diagram on the wellness continuum. Yep, I like to share this. Don't have to worry about all those fancy terms. But if you really look at this diagram, you see right in the center is the neutral point. This is the point where 95% of people think they are healthy because there is no symptom. Yeah, you don't feel anything, you can eat, sleep, shit, you're not having a fever, you can go about doing your work as per normal. That is the center point. Yeah, but and when you start to get symptom, that is moving to the left side. That's where you get signs, you have cough, you have fever, you have flu, and then you seek treatment, right? And then sometimes when something more severe, then you seek more treatment, more drugs, procedures, whatever. And then in the worst case, you lead to the other side, which is premature death. Whereas on the right side, you are looking at people who are proactively taking care of themselves. They are choosing the food that is good for the body, and they will still die, but they don't die of diseases. Okay, so when you don't feel anything, it doesn't mean you're healthy. Unless you go and do a regular medical, you get to do your blood test, because when you have high cholesterol, it doesn't, you don't feel it, right? Yeah, when your blood sugar is high, you don't feel it, right? So these are things that are happening in your body, but you don't feel it. And most of the time, they build up to a tipping point where, okay, everything starts to flare up, and then that's where it alert you. But then it will be too late because you are treating it now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the reason why being proactive in looking after your health is what they call prevention is better than cure.
Okay. Okay. So I think we had this comment earlier, because when I start to share this out, we're talking about, this discussion that we're having over here is great for those who are between 35 to 65. Okay, anyway, this comment over here, I'm pondering over the statement, if you are between 35 to 65, you need to tune in. So I think she's wondering, what about those who are, either below or above 65, right?
Okay, the reason why I put 35 to 65 is because if you are above 35, younger than 35, okay, the youngsters, like the 20 years old, like my two sons, they think, they are immortal, right? they can sleep very late, they can go, clubbing and still wake up for class, right? So because they are young, the body is very strong, they are able to recover. And then as you start to go into work, when you graduate or you start working, you're still okay. But generally, by the time you hit 30, 35, that's when you start to feel what you have done before affecting your body. Okay? That's why around 35 is when the cholesterol starts to happen. You start to feel that you don't have enough energy and the fat starts to pile up.
Okay.
And then at 65 and beyond, normally these people, I wouldn't say all, but most people will be kind of like resigned to, and they are not willing to change their habits, and they just allow things to go down.
Okay.
So that's the reason why this age group are the age group which I prefer to impact and change their lifestyle, or help them to change.
Okay, so in that case, right, what are some of like the simple things someone can do to be healthy?
Very easy. Okay. What you choose to put into your body by way of the food you eat, the nutrition. Most people are eating more for enjoyment, and they equate good food to what they enjoy. But if you treat your body like a supercar, like a Ferrari, you wouldn't be putting any old how into your car. Yeah, so it's very easy. Just choose the food that is helping your body rather than choosing the food that tastes nice. Yeah?
Okay, so how can we determine something like, because we can find something that tastes good, right? But we don't know whether it's actually good for our body, and then versus something that tastes like but it's actually good for our body. How do you know the difference? How do you find out what is good or not?
Oh, okay. Well, then if you have the intention of knowing what is good food for you, then if you go for food that is as whole as possible. Whole means you can see the form, like the vegetable, the fruits, yeah, rather than the processed food. Yeah, processed means you cannot see the form anymore. It is in a new form, like a cake, a biscuit, a bread. It's the original form of a bread is what? It's the grain, right? They grind it into flour, and then you bake it into bread or cake. So if you go for as whole food as possible, you can't go wrong. Okay, but that is not the be all and end all. But I think that is a good place to start.
Okay.
Because I think if you look at all our modern diets right now, there's too much processed food that we are eating right now. Okay, so food is one thing, getting enough sleep is another, because in our modern day lifestyle, people tend not to get enough sleep, and most people sacrifice sleep for work or business or whatever. You know, in fact, I've got people who tell me that I will sleep when I die.
That's kind of like all the cumulative sleep debts, right, that they haven't had, and it's like one shot paid all back.
Exactly. And then movement. We are built to move like a car. You cannot keep a car in a garage forever. You have to drive it, otherwise the engine goes. So if you just look at the three basic things, it's already a lot to deal with. But of course, then you're talking about what is in your mind, yeah, and that is another level altogether. But if you look at this three basic one, there's a lot to work on already. And if you can make that right, I think you are already like 80% towards better health.
Okay. So what else can we do to either boost or bolster our health to defend ourselves against all these viruses?
Okay, when you say boost, I'm assuming that you are in that center line. You're not sick. Because if you're already sick, you'll have to get back to the center line.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to treat it. You have to, whatever the condition is and whatever the root cause for the condition is, you have to look at it and work on it and bring yourself back to baseline. That means those people who are sick are below the baseline. Yeah.
Okay.
So for those who are already at baseline, that means you're not sick. To boost it, it's really talking about having energy, having vitality, having capacity and resilience, right? Because when you have resilience, that's where you can fight, right?
Yeah, I kind of like when you shared with this concept with me before. I think the way I kind of equate that idea is like, it's our body. There's a lot of immune system. I mean, it's already a well-built machine, right? So, but if let's say two countries were to go to war, and let's say the current war that we're fighting now is the coronavirus, right? So if two people were to stand side by side, okay, and then one of them has a whole bunch of ready prepared to fight soldiers versus ones where the soldiers are already dying from all the existing problems, right? But of course, the virus, when they come in to attack, they'll choose the easier one if they get it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you are building your army. Yeah, you're building your air force, your land, your sea defense system. Yeah. So it's easier to build when it's peacetime, right? You don't build your air force when you're at war. You build it to go into war or if anybody attack you. So it's the same thing in your body. So assuming that you're not sick, then build your resilience, and there are things that you can do. So the quote that says, "What doesn't kill you make you stronger." You have heard of this quote before?
Oh yeah, definitely. I hear it all the time. What doesn't kill you makes. I think there's a song also. Yeah, there's a song by that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or something like that.
It is true for the body. Okay, so what doesn't kill you means that you subject your body to good stress. Okay, not all stress are bad. If you subject your body to some form of stress, and because the body has to fight back, it becomes stronger. All right. So, for example, if you exercise, it's a form of stress, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And if you do those high intensity impact kind of exercise, you lift weights, you're putting stress on your body for a short period of time. So during that time, it's stress, but when you stop the activity, it recovers. So when it recovers, it becomes stronger. Your muscle becomes stronger, right? The next one is fasting. when you refrain from eating, there's no more food. The body has no more food. What does it do? It has to find a way to cater to that situation. Right?
Okay.
So when that happens, it becomes stronger.
So fasting actually causes people to become stronger,
Yes.
even though they're eating less
Yes.
or not eating at all. Ah. Oh,
Yes,
that's interesting.
because when the body senses that there's no food, it will automatically go into cleaning mode. It will clean out your toxins. It will repair your body. So that is only happening if there is no food. So the trouble with our modern day lifestyle is we are eating all the time. So we are not giving our body enough time to rest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this is some very good information, guys. For those who are watching right now, okay, well, I think right now we have Suli who's on the line, and she's someone who's been sharing so much good information. And if you have any question, please feel free to say hi, drop a comment below. Just like open up the video. Just open it if you're watching a mobile. Just press the video, and then you can just type in comment, say hi, so that we know you're watching. And but in any case, okay, so if you come back in the chat, Suli, so we'll come back. Oh yeah, so before that, guys, so please feel free to what do you call it? Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Okay, if you're enjoying whatever is happening right now. Okay, so coming back, Suli. So for one of the questions that I wanted to ask also, so for people who are because like coronavirus itself, right? It is at least from what we are seeing right now, it is a respiratory problem, right? It is like when you see videos of people who are gasping for air, it's quite horrible to see that happening. So, who are the people who are at higher risk for such problems?
Okay, just a correction here. From the recent article that I have come across, I think corona is not purely a respiratory. They don't attack purely on the respiratory, like SARS. Yeah, a couple of years ago when we had SARS, it really attacked your lung, and your lung get flooded and you die. But here they discovered that the people who die have heart problem. It's the heart. It attacks not just the lung but the heart as well. Okay. So to answer your question, the people with respiratory problem are those who already have the risk, like they are smoker, the people who smoke, or the people who are exposed to secondhand smoke a lot. The environment is very polluted. Right? For those who live by the highway, for example, or if they're in a factory that has a lot of air pollution, and the people who are subjected to occupational risk of the environment being totally polluted. So these people will definitely have a higher risk of the corona because their lungs is constantly being attacked already.
Okay, so
but
there
there are also people who don't watch their diet. The nutrition is poor. They have had previous lung infection, like pneumonia, for example. They weakened them. They haven't quite recovered. And those who have pre-existing conditions like diabetes, heart disease, they will also be a higher risk of getting coronavirus.
Okay. So in that case, is there something that we can do to like, I mean, we stopped at the very beginning. What can we do to change the outcome, the undesirable outcome?
Okay, so if you have not caught coronavirus yet, rejoice and thank God, first of all. And totally advise you to just change your lifestyle. If your lifestyle have not been pretty ideal, like I said, look at what you eat. That's the first thing you can change. Go for whole food, lots of fruits and vegetables. Yeah, reduce processed food, right? And don't eat all the time. 3 square meal is more than enough for you, And
3 square meal. What do you mean by 3 square meal?
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Okay, okay. I thought like the plate needs to be square. Sorry.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Some people even go as far as just lunch and dinner. That means you have longer period of time from dinner to the next meal for fasting to happen. Yeah,
So
the whole
since,
yeah,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
The whole purpose is to make sure that there's intermittent fasting. That means no food in between your meals to allow your body to digest and recover. Yeah,
Okay.
and then move. You know, I know a lot of people don't like to exercise because it's hard. You feel pain in your body, but like I said, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So do the little bit more each day.
So actually, when it talks about being in exercising, I think when we were all locked at home, right? Suddenly some people become fitness experts, or some people become bakers at home, some people
Oh
become
yeah,
chefs, some people, we all pick up stuff simply because we have nothing else to do at home.
yeah.
So, but okay, in your maybe I just want to ask a little bit, since this is now we are slowly heading back to what we call maybe perhaps regular lifestyle. How can we incorporate like what the benefits of moving back into our life?
Okay. Well, the benefits of moving is humongous. All right. First of all, when you're moving, you're improving circulation, right? So when you're improving circulation, you're sending nutrients, you're sending oxygen all over your body. You're moving your lymphatic system, yes, and you're moving your muscles. So you are strengthening and conditioning your body, even if you're not doing those, really gym kind of exercise. As long as you're moving, you it's better than sitting for 16 hours for sure, right?
16 hours.
I mean, like people sit in the desk for 16 hours, right?
Yeah, I think they do. Yes, yes.
They
It does happen.
do.
Yeah.
They do, right? So, and the people who wants to remain young and look young, when you exercise, the brain the brain derived neurotropic factor, which is an anti-aging agent. Okay, so that's the reason why if you exercise, you are pushing back your age. So
Okay.
so it's the cheapest form of anti-aging cosmetics that you'll ever spend.
Okay, okay. So since we are talking a little bit about exercise, right? What's the problem, with obesity and excess body fat? Is there a difference?
Um, Obesity and excess body fat is the same actually. Yeah. Uh, Obesity is really the
Extreme end,
range, yeah, the extreme end where your BMI is like more than 35. Yeah, and if you climb just one flight of steps, you're already panting.
Okay.
Right? Excess body fat, it could be just that love handle or that muffin top, that little bit of
Tummy.
prosperity tummy. That's the excess body fat. But if
Yeah,
it goes,
I kind of like to joke a little bit. And back there, people, hey, Asher, come on, man, you need to get in shape. When I was a little bit, fat, rounder, and I was like, what? I'm round. Round is a shape.
it is a shape, but is it a shape that will support your health? That's what you have to think about.
Okay, okay. So, okay, then maybe it comes back a little bit to one of the very earlier question that I had. Right? Something we were talking about. How do you know if you're skinny fat? Because internally, you can't see the fat that's internal, right? How
Oh,
do you know you're skinny fat?
yeah, yeah. So you could be skinny, but you have skinny fat, right?
Yeah.
What is the meaning skinny fat in the first place? Skinny fat means that you have fats around your organ. Okay, so you have fatty liver. You have fats surrounding your kidney, your heart, and your blood fat is high. Right? So these are skinny fats.
Okay.
So doesn't mean that when you're skinny, you're healthy. You have to you have to look at your blood tests and indicators like triglyceride, LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, will tell you how skinny fat you are.
Wait, so there's you're saying what LDL and there's the other term is what HDL, is it?
HDL is the good cholesterol.
Ah.
So when you have HDL that's high, it's good.
You know how I actually remember it? Because I know about this LDL and HDL, but I can never remember. You know what's my little trick? I don't know
What's
whether
that?
it's funny. My trick is like this. How do I know HDL or LDL, which is the better one? I just remember HDL means Hai Di Lao. So,
So Hai Di Lao means it's good.
they have very good service. I mean, now a lot of people are just eating back to the steamboat. And
Oh,
everything.
I heard that they have a backup of reservation, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very sure because I'm very sure everybody right now, because here in Singapore we finally can open up to people to going out to eat, right? So I think like I'm pretty sure even for right now, I'm very sure that nobody is watching this. Everybody is out there eating Hai Di Lao or something like that. I'm pretty sure. So like and I think kind of hard to blame them, even though it's open up, then I think a lot of people are just kind of like, okay, I need to go out and eat again, So I mean, just my own, just quite random thought how I remember LDL.
Honestly, having stuck at home and ordering takeaway, no matter how good the restaurant is, it doesn't taste good.
You are
know what I
right.
mean?
You're right. Because
Yeah.
it's the ambience, right?
And because you're transporting the food and it's packed, and by the time it comes to your table, your dining table, it's all condensed and it's mushy and all that. So yeah, it's
Okay.
not enjoyable, but it's not gonna make me go out and eat anytime too soon, except for my son's birthday on Monday, which we have to celebrate. But Father's Day, we're going to stay at home and order takeout still.
Okay. So the father has to stay at home, and then now the son gets to go because of the son.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very good, very interesting. So, all right. So I think in terms also when it comes to, you were talking a little bit about moving, right? We're talking about moving at home. So, and also you're talking a little bit about sleep. Now, does physical activity and immunity, or rather, and sleep have any effect on our immune levels?
Oh, lots. Now, sleep is absolutely critical. Okay? And during sleep, a lot of things happen. Your body detox, it removes the toxins, especially in your brain. Do you know that when you sleep, your brain skull actually open up and allow the fluid to come into the brain to flush away the toxins?
Wait, that you're painting a very scary picture. When I sleep, my brain opens up. It's like
Not open
Really?
up this way, but you know how our brain is covered in patches of skull, right?
yeah.
So they literally expand because they allow that space for the fluid to come into the brain and to flush away the toxins that has been generated in the day.
Okay.
This only
Interesting.
happens when you are sleeping. If you don't get enough sleep, that means there's not enough time for the flushing to happen. Then you are not detoxing your brain sufficiently. And you know what will happen? It build up over time, and that is the cause for Alzheimer's disease.
Does it also cause like stroke?
Not stroke. Stroke is caused by the lipids that block up the blood vessels in the brain cells, in the brain, not the brain cells, the brain. But Alzheimer's, one of the cause for Alzheimer's is the brain has so much toxins that it doesn't function properly anymore. So sleep is one of the critical factor for helping that to be detoxed. But it also detox your body, and it repairs, it regenerates. A lot of things happen during sleeping. So if we don't give our body enough time to sleep, then we are setting our body up for reduced immunity, which will then lead to onset of diseases which build up over the years. It doesn't happen immediately. That's why people who are diagnosed with things like cancer, it has started happening 10 years ago. It doesn't happen yesterday. So every little things that you do to support your health will go a long way. Everything that you didn't do is going to build yourself to disease. That is the problem.
Right. So if I'm kind of getting what you're saying so far, I mean, if let's say we were to summarize what we've been chatting about for the past half an hour. So guys, if you guys are watching and enjoying it, okay, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you give a like, give a heart, share this with your friends. Okay, if you're enjoying the show so far. Okay, so what we're to summarize a little bit about what we've talked about the past half hour, you were saying to actually boost our immune system, we want to get away from. Okay, let me just show the graphic again, because I thought this graphic, when I first saw this, I thought it's pretty interesting that if that you can you want to get to be in the middle for most people who are actually feeling sick. You want to get to the middle point, but you want to be aware. But you got to start with being aware. Then you got to educate yourself, and then you start to become stronger and stronger in terms of your health and your wellness. So what you're sharing with me so far that I'm hearing is that first of all we need to understand where we are at, and then afterwards we need to make certain lifestyle changes. So that will be coming through like moving, right? Physical movement. We got to change a little bit of. We got to make sure that we get sufficient sleep, right? And of course we got to make sure that we are eating the whole foods. Right? Did I properly summarize what we've been mentioning so far?
Yeah, I think these three factors, if you can do well, it's already like 80%. You're going to be able to take. Of course, there are other parts like how you think. If you have a toxic mind, it's also not going to help, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and your environment, like are you drinking clean water? How about the air? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So but the three things is already like, I think it's 80% if I remember. And you also asked about how exercise helps with immune. First of all, exercise circulates, right? It helps the blood to circulate. It moves the lymphatic, and like I said, it creates that stressor for a short period of time. But when you stop the activity and the body recover, it makes you stronger, right? And exercise is absolutely important also, because we have skeletons and muscles, and we need that to carry ourselves around, right? When the natural aging process would mean that your muscle become weaker, your bone become less dense, and if you don't do anything, you are well towards getting osteoporosis. And you are well towards your body not being strong enough to hold you. And a lot of times when the old folks fall, that's why there's a saying, when old folks fall, they cannot fall, because when they fall, normally they KO, right?
Yeah.
And when they fall, they have a higher chance of fracturing and all that. Why? Because the bone is less dense. So when they fall, they are more likely to fracture.
Yeah,
right?
I recall there was an incident where I was at an event, and then it's kind of sad because there was this very nice lady. She was just I mean, it was an opening event, and she missed a step, and the step wasn't even like what we see the usual HDB flats, the kind of step. It's like half of that. It's so small, such a small step. But because of that, she fell. And then afterwards, her thigh bone cracked. Literally, I'm like, I feel so bad for her, because when the ambulance came, she just couldn't move. She was on the ground. We brought her afterwards later when we went to check her out. Wow, the entire bone was like, that was such a, sad to hear that.
Yep. And it's very difficult. The moment you are diagnosed with osteoporosis, it's very difficult to reverse. Very difficult. Not impossible, but it's difficult because old folks, you're already weak, then you don't have the strength and all that, right? So why wait until then? Why not prevent it? Prevention is better than cure, right? So exercise, especially weight-bearing exercise, will strengthen the bone, because you're bearing the weight, so the body sense that So they're going to make the bone stronger, right? And it also strengthens the muscle, like your core. Most old folks, when they fall, it's not because they couldn't stop themselves. It's because they don't have enough core strength to hold their body up. That's why they slump and then they crack their hip and all that. So that's the reason why it is important to build your body strength, to build your bone strength through exercise. Yeah, and it cannot happen overnight. Exercise is like a little bit of it every day that adds up.
Okay. So keeping in exercise, especially like weight training. So what you're saying is very
Resistant.
good. Resistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
so most people think weight training like, oh, I must go to the gym and must hold very heavy weight. Not necessarily. If you use your body weight, resistant training only mean that you're pushing against something. So when you're pushing against it, you're forcing the muscle to work against it. And that is how it tear and it strengthen again.
Okay. So we're not talking about like bodybuilding, right? We're talking more about strengthening to prevent ourselves. Let's say there's the situation where we're older, and then when we fall, right, we're able to get back up.
Yes, and you don't have to be old. If you go trekking, say for example, you trek in McRitchie Reservoir, yeah, and the terrain is rugged, right? It doesn't have proper road or steps, right? It's mud road, and then it's got roots jutting out and all that, right? So as you are trekking, and if you accidentally trip onto something that jutted up but you didn't see, you have to catch yourself, don't you?
Yep.
If you don't have enough core strength, you cannot catch yourself, you'll trip and fall.
Okay, so does that have? I mean, this is kind of psychedelic for me because I've situations where few and far between where I tripped, but whenever I tripped, my mind kind of goes into complete overdrive. I actually see everything in slow motion, and there are times when I could do something about it. I don't know whether this is kind of off topic or whatever, but I don't know whether that have any thoughts about that.
Well, it could be your awareness. Yeah, your awareness is heightened, and then when it's heightened, the mind is very focused. That's why everything slow down.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So is there such a cause as like over exercising? Is that a problem?
Yes, people who run a marathon, for example, is over exercising. Actually, your body is not meant to run 46 km for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy who started the Olympics ran to his death, right? I'm just thinking because like the Olympics guy, the guy who just ran to give a message. The Olympic was created for him in his
Yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah, if you over exercise, that means you are not giving your body enough time to rest and recover. That means over exercise. Yeah, that is like overstressing the body.
Okay,
It's definitely no good.
Definitely. Okay. All right. Okay. So I hear also a little bit on that, and I think earlier at some point you were mentioning about metabolic health. Can you explain a little bit about what is metabolic health?
Okay, so just to explain the word metabolism, yeah, metabolism purely means that it is the summation of all the chemical reactions that's happening in the body. So our body at any second is running about millions and millions of chemical reaction, and all these chemical reactions are important to uphold the function of the body, digestion, kidney function, liver function, mental function, your eyes, your nose. So that is what metabolism is. Okay, so when you have metabolic health, that means all these chemical reactions are happening at the right time, at the right speed, and in the right sequence. That's all it means. Okay? But to make it something that is tangible for everybody, I would like to touch on the topic of flexibility,
Okay.
metabolic flexibility. So, metabolism, as the common understanding, is also like how the body burn calories and all that, right? So, when you really think about it, the source of food, when we eat, it is burned in our body to create the energy, right? So, the trouble is the current diet that most people are eating is more carbs. I think there are about 70% carb in any meal.
Yep.
Yeah, you look at the wonton mee and the chicken rice, it's a whole big plate of white rice and just a little bit of chicken and maybe two cucumber or something like that, right? So it's 70% carbohydrate. Yeah. And when we eat this kind of meal over a long time, the body only know how to burn carbohydrate for fuel.
Right.
So when you don't eat, that means you fast, cannot tahan already. Wow, hunger pangs, craving pangs, all these will happen because the body is not flexible. All right. So when you are flexible, it would mean that if you don't have carbohydrate, you're not eating, for example, the body is able to go for your body fat and burn it for energy instead. But this has to be trained. All right. So we have been conditioning our body to use carbohydrates as fuel. So suddenly, when you cut down or you stop eating, then you cannot switch to burning fat suddenly. It's not used to it. So that is what I call not metabolically flexible.
It's kind of reminds me a little bit about the keto diet.
In a way. However, keto diet can be very, very restrictive, right? Because the classical sense of keto is that you are taking a lot of fats, zero carbs, or no, very, very low carb, very, very low carb, right? And so it's very restrictive. It's not something that people can do the whole life. You can go on a keto. You can go on a keto for a short period, like what you do, right? You go on a keto when you want to lose your weight quickly, but you are not on keto the whole lifetime.
No.
Yeah. So although there are people who are doing that, yeah, but for majority, it's not possible. So I would prefer that you the middle ground would be you choose the right protein, you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you do incorporate some good healthy fats into your diet. This is more middle ground, and this is something that is sustainable for the rest of your life. If you choose to go into keto, you can, but you will. Of course, there are a group of people who are used to and they are doing keto, but for majority of the people, it's not possible.
Okay. So when it comes to a bit of metabolic health as well, what you're saying is one of the key things to know whether it's good is also whether there is the metabolic flexibility, right? So that we can eat. We're not completely over reliant on one source of food as an energy source for our body.
Exactly. Yeah. And one way to train that is fasting. Yeah. So you will know whether you're metabolically flexible when you stop eating. Do you have any craving? Right? Can you last not eating for 12 hours, 16 hours? Can you last that? If you cannot, and you feel that you are, thinking of food and all that, then it definitely means that you're not metabolically flexible.
Okay. So will stuff like because when we're on fasting itself, right, does it mean that we'll be able to absorb stuff like supplements better because we're in a starved mode in a sense?
Absorption of supplement is a totally different topic altogether.
Different topic. Okay.
Yeah, it's the bioavailability. Whether your intestine is all clogged up, no matter how good the supplement you take, of course it cannot be absorbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not about whether you're fasting or not.
All right. So what do you have? Let's say in terms of because we're talking about how we can incorporate metabolic health, so that this is kind of like, even though we can have, let's say we talked very early about changing a lifestyle, keeping moving and eating the right foods. But I can kind of understand that's some of the things we can change in lifestyle. But to make a better lifestyle for that, one of the strategies we can do is try to incorporate this thing called metabolic health into our life. Because once we have, what you're telling me is that once we have metabolic health in our life, that makes us, like what you said, flexible to deal with a lot of situations, and even to counter or fight against viruses.
When
Right.
you have metabolic health, yeah, you will be in a much better state to be able to fight things like coronavirus. Okay, because having metabolic health means that your blood sugar is balanced. If you are eating 70% carbs the whole day, your blood sugar is definitely not going to be balanced. And it's not just by looking at your blood test, the level of blood sugar, because your blood sugar can be normal, but your insulin is not. So you can be insulin elevated, but your blood sugar is still normal.
Okay.
Okay. So when you have elevated insulin, that means the body is not metabolically healthy. And when you have elevated insulin, your white blood cells are less. It's not going to be able to fight any viral infection. So being metabolically healthy, metabolically flexible would be the first step that you can take towards doing it. And I run a 60-day program to support people in the 60 days to learn how to choose the right food, encourage them to move, and with some adequate supplementation, they can create that metabolic flexibility in 60 days, and it's verified by the blood test that you do.
Okay. All right. So how can people actually reach you then?
Oh, they can go to my website or my Facebook. Look Good, Feel Great Always is my personal page, and then Chong Soo Lee is my business page. I'm also on LinkedIn, and you can always go to my website, Look Good, Feel Great Always, and type in a message there. All these are available to reach out to me if you're interested to find out how I can support you to achieve metabolic health.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have been watching it so far and you're enjoying the show, again, Suli has been sharing so much information. And I think I benefited a lot because, like, I personally, for me, I've heard of the term metabolic health, but I never actually knew that it meant flexibility as well. And it's just some simple rules and just taking care of your how to make sure that you are well defend, or rather having a good defense system against coronavirus is just some simple tweaks in life, right? These simple tweaks in life have huge benefits further down the road, because we don't want to be like old and like I can't, like useless, not say useless, but very old and not able to enjoy life when we should be able to enjoy life, or rather than just be enjoying life. I'd rather have that. Just make sure that what we do at the start and later we benefit from that. Thanks for sharing all this so far, Suli. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Absolutely. I'm definitely happy to share. And exactly as what you said, do you have a vision of what kind of 60, 70, 80-year-old do you want to be? And a better question is, how do you want to die?
How do you want to die?
We will
Reminds
all
me of
die.
the song "Dumb Ways to Die." But carry on.
We will all die. We will all die. If you have a choice and you can choose how do you want to die, what would be your choice? In the hospital bed, or just sleeping soundly at home and go?
Well, I would like to go with I don't know. I mean, sleeping soundly is good. I would probably like to go while doing the thing I love most. Just having fun and just like maybe I don't know what the heck skydiving.
But dying is easy. Yeah.
Mm.
But imagine this. That's a report that I have read. The report I read was 10 years before people die is normally spent in sickness.
I will not want that. I definitely, in terms of, I mean, the last 10 years, I'm not going to spend that in a hospital. That's
Not necessarily in a hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Being sick could be that your heart is so weak that you're supported by a whole drawer full of medicine. The doctor cannot put any stent or do anything to you anymore because you're too weak. You're too old. And you have to just be with that situation where your heart maybe not functioning, is tight, you don't have any more energy, but you're still alive.
Wow, that's not where we want to be, not where anybody wants to be. But unfortunately, a lot of people are making the wrong choices while they are young towards that goal. They don't want it, but they're going towards it because they're not willing to make the changes now.
Right.
So thank you so much.
They are not being proactive in deciding how they want to die. They are just letting it happen. Okay. So that situation is very close to me because that is my father-in-law.
I'm sorry.
He's currently 89, 88, 89. And thank goodness that he was very, very active playing golf when he was younger. But obviously he didn't take care of his diet. Today he had 3 stents about 15 years ago. Now his stent has blocked up again, but he's too old to go through any procedure, and he's just sustained by a drawer full of medicine. All right, and now he's not feeling good. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't want to do anything.
So it's kind of like that will be a painful thing to go through.
It will be painful. So I hope this is a reminder for people that if you do not want to end up there, which you don't know, but the best way to control not being there is act now.
Yeah.
Take care of your health now.
I agree.
You can start with little things, small steps every day.
Because no one else can be healthy for you, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. And no one else will, and you will be the one feeling the benefit or the pain.
Okay. Well, Suli, thank you so much for sharing all this very good information. We are coming to an hour already. Actually, time passes by really quickly. Hope you're having fun. I am. I mean, I'm learning a lot. So, but before we go, I have one final question. 55 question session confession. Okay, so this one is just a very fun thing. It's just kind of random, not random. Okay, so I have 55 questions, and what you can do is just choose any number from 1 to 55, and now what I'll do is that I'll ask you that question, and you can just respond to that. Okay, so go ahead, choose 1 to 55, any number.
24.
24. Okay, question 24 is okay. Have you ever cried at a movie?
Oh yes, of course.
Is it a movie or like all the movies?
Not all the movie, but whatever movie with scenes that touch me. Oh, I cried like a baby at times.
Okay. Do you recall anyone in particular?
Well, there was one particular one was something about miracle. I can't remember the title. It's about this girl who had a condition in her stomach, and incurable. But then she was finally healed, and I was crying like a baby throughout the whole movie. It was so touching.
Was it a Japanese movie? Sounds familiar.
No, it's I think it's based on a true story in Australia. I think miracles do happen or something like that.
Okay, wow. Okay, so if that sounds, I think I kind of heard a little bit of a story like that, but
yeah.
So hey, it's kind of like a movie that has to do with health as well.
So I do cry.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Suli. So okay, guys. So for those who are watching, thank you for watching with us. My guest Suli here has shared so much great information. But if you guys want to stick around and if you want to ask any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Even when the show is done, because when the replay is over, Suli can still reply to those comments. And of course, if any of you want to know to find out a chat with her, please head over to facebook.com at Look Good Feel Great Always, or to Chong Suli. You can hit her up on LinkedIn as well. Of course, you can go over to her website to actually to find out more what that she offers. And also, if you are interested to find out, as what she has mentioned earlier, about a 60-day program, okay, about how to improve your health, your metabolic health, you can also hit her up for that. Okay, so just contact her. She'll be able to help you. And I think I know one guy. I think one of a mutual friend that we had. His name is Max. When I first knew him, he was like, round is a shape, literally round. And then few months down the road, I was like, I really couldn't recognize him. He's just like,
Yeah, so proud of him. Yeah. He is one example of those that never done a blood test before, so think that he's healthy, right? And when he came into my program, he did the blood test. He was absolutely shocked. Every indicators were out, all red marks, okay? And in the 60 days, it turned into normal. And he literally lost all his body fat. He was looking so handsome.
Awesome. So for guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to lose weight, but not just, if you think you're in the health, you got to get a proper test done, right, to find out where you are at. Okay, and then afterwards, who's the person that you can look for? Definitely Suli, because if you can outwalk her, okay, maybe you might stand a chance. If you cannot outwalk her, go for a test. All right, go for it, and then just
For your information, Asha, you know who is the guy that outwalked me? He's 65 years old.
Wow, okay. He has he has to be very healthy.
He didn't outwalk me. He could maintain my pace.
Okay. I can't maintain your pace. And I'm like, okay, I'm 36, and I can't maintain your pace. Like, wow, Suli just she's so fast, man. So okay. All right. Okay. Once again, guys, ladies and gentlemen, just hit her up. Go over to LinkedIn. You can go on Facebook, and then you can go to our website as well. Once more. And with that being said, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming for the show. So stick around, and I'll have a chat with you after we're done with the show. All right.
Thanks, Asha. Bye, everyone. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, I think everyone has. Thank you so much, Suli. So, okay, and that's her, and this is me. So, thank you so much for sticking around the show, guys. And we have come to the end of the show. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for watching. Now, I started Aspiring Everything is to bring a voice and to help to, for different experts, entrepreneurs, and business owners to share their voice, to share their expertise, their knowledge with more people, right? So that, in this time that we are stuck at home, but not just that, further down the road, I'm very sure that, this kind of format will be quite common, right? So I think it'll be quite fun, and I really thank you for sticking around to watch the show together with me. I benefited a lot. With that being said, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty up from the minute that I met you.